Guys, welcome to this workshop on lives. So it's recurring lives and how we can use them and what happens. So if you've seen our new feature on recurring lives, then you'll want to know a little bit more about sort of what happens with the system when recurs run and when the next one starts. So with recurring lives, what you can do is you can set an occurrence of the same link, the register link, for each of the reoccurrings. So for this one, the actual setup and all those things is for recurring is exactly the same for live webinars and live classes. So I thought I'd start with a live class. So as you know, live classes, if you've actually assigned them to a course for the live class, then only people in that class can actually sign up or book their spot. Okay. So we have also webinar blocks and live blocks. These are dynamic blocks that you can put in your page now as well. So this covers a few things. So we're going to go into a lot of detail on it. So it's going to be a longish workshop, but by the end of it, you should understand it all. But do bear in mind that the way the recurring works is the same for webinars and live classes. So I'm going to start with live classes, and we're just going to create a live class now. So we've got no live class created, so I'm going to create a live class. Okay, so we've created the live class now, and we're going to call it something like Surf Dudes Weekly Q and A. Okay, so bear in mind, because it's recurring, we're going to label everything quite generically so we can run it each week the same thing. Okay, so you're naming it. So if I was to put in there Surf Dudes weekly pop-up session or something, and then next week I'm doing something else, I'd have to edit it. I'd have to edit that reoccurrence to do it. So if you're going to run the same one, you want to make sure it's generic, and we're going to work with a generic format. So obviously we're going to set our time zone. Now I'm in London, or it's a London time zone, so I'm going to put London there, and I'm going to set when. So I'm going to say that I'm going to run this today, and we're going to choose a time in here of 12 o'clock. Okay, so 12 p.m. or 11. No, I'll make it 12. So there we go. We set our time. So it's going to happen on today, it's 24th at 12 p.m. Okay, so now you can set your maximum attendees. So you can put up to, I think it's about 500 in here. I'm going to put 400, and then you run the duration of that live. Okay, so I'm going to set this on 30 minutes so I can show you what happens after it happens. Now of course you can put an image in here. Recommended size for the live or the webinar image is 860 by 480. So I'm going to go and just drop an image in here, and I have an image inside here which should do the job. So that's going to be fine. I'll crop this so it's cropped nicely in here. This is transparent PNG, by the way. Click, crop, and save. You can use JPEGs as well. So there's our little image in there. We've done our first part of this. Now this is where we have a reoccurring. So because it's a live class, you have this two options in here with live class. It's who can attend. Anyone that's registered on the site. So that's anyone that's actually just registered. So it might be any course, it might be they've just registered or signed up on your site, but you can go in here and enroll in a course. So if I click enroll in a course, then you have a selection to pick the course that you want people to go to. So I'm going to choose here Surf Dudes membership. Okay, so only people in this course that signed up in this course can have access to this live. Okay, people in other courses will not. This is important. This is what the enrolled in course for live classes means. So once I've done that, I can then say, right, okay, so I'm going to set a reoccurring for this. So if I check this little button, we have loads of options. Now we've called this weekly Q&A, so the reoccurrence of this would not be monthly or daily, it would be weekly. Okay, and I want it to repeat every Friday, so I'm going to check the Friday there, and I'm going to turn off the Sunday and the Monday. So it only happens on the Friday. Let's just check that off. There we go. And repeat every number of weeks. So this is another thing. We need to set, there's a maximum set of recurrences or occurrences, and this is 30. Okay, so you can only do 30 at a time. So this will be over 30 weeks. Now we have the option here to set the number of occurrences. We also have the end date. So you'll notice here that this end date is set for the 23rd of the 8th. And because of that, it's going to give me 9 occurrences of this date pattern that I've got here. If I was to change this to down here, like September the 11th, then you're going to see when we change that we have more occurrences because it's more of that date range. So it picks out the Friday of each week and it runs it, and there's 12 occurrences over this date span. Now you can say repeat every 2 weeks if you wanted to, which would half this amount. So you can repeat them every other week if you wanted to, or every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks, every 5 weeks. Of course, as we've already looked at, you can change it to daily or monthly. So if you want to run one a month, you could go monthly, and you could do one a month, and it will give you 3 occurrences of that. So that is the understanding with it. So I'm going to again put this back to weekly, and we'll run this. So I'm going to go weekly, and I'm going to say I want it to run 30 occurrences. I don't want to set an end by a specific date, so I'm going to come in here and click end after specific number of occurrences, and maximum we can have is 30. So I'm going to put 30 in there, and you're going to see it's giving me 30 occurrences of this. Okay, so now that is set, we've got this set up to run every Friday week, every once a week, every Friday for 30 occurrences. So now you can view the occurrences in here. So if you view the occurrences, it gives you the date and the time of all your occurrences, which is really cool. So at the moment, if we're just clicking in here, you have no options. Okay, and what we need to do is we need to just make sure that we're saving this. So because we haven't set this, we set this, and we said 30 minutes, and we're going to click next here. What it will do is it will save it. So later on I can go back and I can show you more about editing the occurrences. So now obviously it's like we've done before. You can choose a template to use for your design, for your registration and replay page and all of those things. So I'm going to choose this one, nice simple one, and I'm going to click finish. So by default it's going to set all these little pages up for you, and you can of course go in here and edit these using Page Builder. Let's have a look at preview this register page. Now the amazing thing about recurrences is that each recurrences will still have this same link. Okay, it will not change from week to week. So you can see this is quite good, got that little logo in there, looks good. Let's go and have a look at the thank you page. So here's the thank you page. Again, you've booked your spot. That's all good. The waiting page. So at the moment I'm not even having to change anything. It's going to give me a nice pattern. Remember, I can go in here and I can customize it however I want to. Let's look at the replay page down. So we've got the replay page. So we've got a placeholder video. What I like to do with this is I like to come in here and just edit this page and just take out that placeholder video that's in there and just put maybe my logo in there. And when if I process and I want to put the actual video in there, I can do that if I want to, or I don't have to send a link to the replay page. So I'm going to go in here, and what I tend to do is delete this out, and then I'll just put something in here. I won't even have this. I'm just going to delete that out as well, and maybe I won't even show a replay. I'm going to go and put a 3 row in there. I'm going to grab an element which is going to be a video element, image element, which I have there. I'll just grab the Surf Dudes logo, and then I've got that in there. Now this doesn't look very good in here, so what I'm actually going to do is put a brand new block in. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to go to empty blocks, drag a new block in here, and I'll just basically redo this page. So I'm going to take this down here, I'm going to add a row, okay, then I'm going to add a heading in here and just put watch the replay, okay, and then I can basically do what I like. So I'm going to take that out and put in a row 3, drop in an image and say that's done. Save that. Remember, you can SEO all your pages as well. You can go through them and SEO all your pages, but this is done. So this is basically set up now. So now we're going to move on to automations, because automations is a big part of these lives to send out details. So all I want to do with this one is just send a detail out about this. So I'm going to change this to Surf Dudes. I'm going to change this to courses at Surf Dudes. And then the rest of it I can leave by default, because it's going to bring in the host, which is me. It's also going to bring in the topic. It's going to put when and the join link. So it's going to do exactly what we want it to do. So the action is now live. Now you can also set up reminder sequences. So I'm just going to save that. And inside here you can set up reminder sequences for this as well. So once again, I'm just going to change this to this course's email address. So that's done. Okay, we're going to save that. We're going to make it live. Okay, that's live. So that's going to send out a 1 hour before the scheduled time. And next I'm going to send this one out as well. So let's go and change this over. And we've only got to do this once, because then it will just reoccur and it will use those settings. So there we go, save that, make it live. Now if you want to, you can set up another link after the time. So you can do after 1 day after the event has happened, and then you can send out an email to the replay link page, which is that, yeah, if you want to. So I'm finished with my automation, so this is basically set up, ready to go. Now what I want to do now is I want to go back to the live class details, and I want to show you how you can edit the occurrences. So once you've got all this set up, okay, and you've updated it all, this is another account, so I need to just do that 300. This is really cool, because if you go back to the live class details, you're able to go into here and change the reoccurrences if you want to. You can also view the occurrences that are happening, and you're going to see that it gives you the duration, gives you the date. So if you're on holiday for one of these dates, you could just delete it out by clicking here. So let's just pretend we're on holiday on the 20th of August. So I can click delete and it will just disappear from here. You can see it goes from the 13th to the 27th now. Now also, say for instance on this event, the 23rd, I want to run it for an hour session. I can click edit, I can come in here and I can just add an hour and click update. I can also go in here and change the time as well. So if I wanted to run this at 12 o'clock on that day, or 11 o'clock or something, let's say 10 a.m. I wanted to for this, or 9 a.m. I can just do that there, and it's going to change to 9 a.m. So I've got full control over editing and deleting out occurrences. Now you could also come in here and add a schedule. So you can come in here and you can add a new event if you want to. So if you wanted to run one, say on the 26th, let's actually run one on the 25th, same day, and let's run this one out at 1 o'clock, so 1 p.m. There we go. So that looks good, and I want to run this for 30 minutes as well, and I'm going to click add. You're going to see that it will actually add it in there. Let me just check. I'm just going to delete a few of these out first because I've got 30 occurrences, and I'll just add that schedule again. So we're running it on the 25th. We're going to run this one at 1 p.m. for, let's do it 15 minutes, and click add. So it should go in here. Now I might need to go and just check the occurrences again. Ah, there it is. So it hasn't put it in sequence, but it's put it down here. So there's another event running out of 1 and running out there. So actually I set that to July. So I should have set it to June. Let's update that, and then it'll appear up here. There we go. So little mistake there, setting the wrong dates. Definitely check that. So I'll just delete a few of those out. So now I've got one running at 11 and I've got one running at 12. So I can administer all of my occurrences inside this area, and I can even add to the schedule as well, which is very cool. So now this is actually set up. So if I go to my live again and I go to classes, let me just update this page. And I go to live and I go to live classes, you're going to see that this is running in 23 hours 32 minutes. So I have this all set up. So this is ready. It's ready to accept registered people that are in that course. So let me go back and edit it and just show you. You can see that it's for anybody that's enrolled in the membership site. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this and we're going to put it into a block into the membership page. So I'm going to go to courses, I'm going to go to bundles, and you can see I've got my Surf Dudes membership. So I'm actually going to go to the page, the primary bundle course access page. I'm going to edit this and I'm going to use the live class dynamic block. So this block brings in any of the lives that you've got in your live schedule. Okay, now it will only show one because the other one's not been created yet. The other 30 occurrences have not been created yet. So here we go. So I'm going to create another little block here. For the sake of this, I'm going to duplicate this block out and I'm going to call this live workshops and then call it weekly on Fridays. You can call it what you like. I'll delete this little button, I don't need it, and I'm going to go and just change this image to make it look pretty. So let's go and get rid of the image behind it, and let's go and put this into a white. I'll probably have to change this into a black, like so. And there we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in the new block. So let's go to blocks. Let's go to live classes. Notice there's a live webinar and live classes. I'm going to open that up. And you're going to see you've got two design styles to use here. You've got a kind of free column or you've got a list view. So I'm going to use the free column. This is for live classes. Notice it says dynamic. So it pulls the information from the live classes live section into this block. Let's drop it in there. And you're going to see one live class available. There we have it. So that's the live class that we just set up in here. So this is all ready to go. So I can now click save. So we're now going to test this. We're going to book our spot as a student and see how it all works. Now remember, this is the course access page for this membership page. So nobody but a member can get to this. Okay, so let us go and try this out. Going to jump into Surf Dudes and log in as a student. So I'm always log in as, I've set up a test student, by the way. To set up a test student, you can go to site, go to all people, and then you can create a test student there, okay, and the logins. So you can either add a user up there as well. So I'm just going to call this, I'm going to see that I'm in the right course. Yep, I've got the membership course for this test student, and that looks good. I'm just going to put a password in here and click update. And now I'm going to test this out. So I'm going to come into my incognito window. Just before I do that, I'm just going to show you at the moment, if I go back to lives, I go into live class and I go and edit this live. So I'm going to click here, edit. We're going to see inside here that we have no registered users at this time. Nobody's in there. Okay, let's now test this. So I'm going to go to new incognito window. We're going to go in here and we're going to sign in. I'm going to sign in under my name, like so. Click login. I'm going to click my courses. Here we are. So I'm in the course. You know, I could go into the beginners, go into intermediates, advanced, and I've got my booking up here. It's giving me the hours. It's giving me that it is BST time as well on the 24th. So I want to book my spot. Now I'm in here as a student, okay, so I've bought the course. So if I click book my spot now, you're going to get this. You have successfully booked your spot. So you haven't got to put a password in, any of that stuff. That's the perfect thing with live classes. You haven't got to register. Webinars, you've got to put your name, you've got to put your email address in there for it to send you the link. So this all works. So if I click go to this, it's now going to tell me there's a countdown before this starts, but I'm enrolled. And of course the automations will take over now. So it will send me an email saying that I've booked my spot. So I'll just show you that now, what I receive in my Gmail. So here we go. So you're going to see that we have, straight away I've got an email reminding me the class starts in 24 hours. But because I have signed up before 1 hour, or just after 1 hour before it happens, I've got 2 emails. So it's telling me. So this is the first email that I would have received. And it's telling me now, join a specific week and time and go to the waiting room. So I can click through to this. And I'm going to go through to this, ready for the session to begin. So what about if a user tries to get to this and tries to log in on that URL? So if you're new to this, if you're new to the site and you want to log in and you're not a member of that course, if I go to the live and I try to use that link, live class, and I go into this here, just click edit, and I try to register with that registration link, which is this one here, which I'm going to copy, it's not going to let me in because inside the course, okay, inside the course, there is one enrollment, and that's D Newton. So if I try this now, I'm going to click in here. I'm going to just log back out. I'm just going to reopen an incognito window so it's fresh. So this link will work for all of the occurrences. So it's one link you can use for all of them. So I'm going to click enter. It's going to throw up this page. And if I try to register now and I put another email address, like something like test@test.com. I try and put a password in here, click login, nothing will happen because your username and password is invalid because you're not part of that course. Okay, so it will not let you in. You cannot register for it unless you're part of that course. Okay, so it locks people out. This is the benefit of using live classes. Okay, so it's only people that are actually part of the site. Either they've registered on your site or you have selected them to be part of the course. So if I go into lives again and live classes, you dictate who gets into this live class by whatever you select inside of the details who can attend. So it's either people registered on your site or they're enrolled in a particular course, and anybody trying to get in to sign up that is not registered on your site or is not enrolled in a course will not be able to register. All right, that's the key with setting up live classes. Okay, so what happens to our live classes and our block when a live runs and finishes? So we're going to look at that in a second. Okay guys, so I've got this first one set up for 11:45. That is in 5 minutes time. I've also set it for only 15 minutes to run this test. So if we look at the next occurrence that's going to happen, the next occurrence is happening half an hour later, which is at 12:15 on today, the 24th. So I've just set this up as a test, just to test things out and see how they run. So as we already know, in this first one we have me signed up. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start the live. So we're going to look at what happens after the event has run. So you know how it's all set up. People can book their spots, they attend the live. What happens after that? So we're going to have a look at what happens after that by just me starting the class, and then I'll run this for 15 minutes till it ends, and we'll see what happens inside of the live dashboard once we have actually done it. Remember, at the moment we've only got one in there. So let's start this class and we will see. So the scheduled time you're trying to start is 24th of June at 12:15. Thursday, would you like to start? This is 24th, 12:15. Oh, that's wrong. I need to just edit this slightly. Let's set it the same. So that's my first happening. So I need to make sure that first one is the same for this. So 11:15. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to the schedule. So I'm going to make another one today, which is June. I'm going to set this for the 24th, and this one's going to be 12:15 here. Okay, that's good, and I'm going to add that. Okay, so here we go, 11:15, 12:15. Perfect. Alright, we can start our class now. So just double check our reoccurrences. Yep, that's all good. And I'm going to start the live class, and we're going to look at what happens afterwards. So I'm going to pause the video. You don't need to see me start the Zoom session and obviously run through you know, a tutorial if I was doing one. We just want to look at what happens after the event has finished. So guys, you can see that it's actually just about to start. So at 00 it's going to start. So like I said before, I can hit that start class. Now the timing on this session is 15 minutes. So I'm going to pause the video for 15 minutes, and then this will then expire, and the new one that's happening at 12:15 will then start. Right, so it's gone the time of this, so I just need to refresh this screen just to see what happens here. So as you can see now, what it's done is it's moved to the next time slot, so the 24th of the 2021. So it's actually just replaced it with a new one that you can start a new class. So you will see that it's still showing the old date time. Now this is because you registered for the other one, you're still registered. We've logged in under that same account where we booked, so we're still registered for this. So if I click this, I'll go to the waiting page, which is there, which is for this new time, 12:15. However, it doesn't update on here, and the reason it doesn't update on here is you need to just go and reset it. So if we go into our live class, I need to do a little bit of administration work, but very little, because all I need to do is after the first one's run, I just need to come in here and set a new time of the, to match the date of the next occurrence. So in this case it's 12:15, so I'd need to set it for 12:15 in here, and then you're going to see that it will update. So let me just go to 12:15 and 12, and let's just save this. And now if we go back into incognito mode inside here and I refresh, this date is then going to change here. So it's changed to 12:15. Obviously we're now past that time, so I've got no countdown. So what I'll do to demonstrate to you is I'll just set another occurrence in here. So I'm just going to go into view occurrences, and then I'm just going to set a new schedule up. So I'll set one up for tomorrow, and then you'll see it. So if I go to June and I go to the 25th here, and we'll just leave it as this 9 o'clock maybe. Okay, so we've got to set it for tomorrow, the 25th. When I click add to that, then you're going to see it's going to appear in here. So I just need to make sure this time matches the time in there. So 9 o'clock on the 25th. So I'm going to come into here. I'm going to click the 25th. I'm going to go down to the 9 o'clock, making sure it matches, and then I just need to click update. And now this one will be set up, and because of course we're registered users with that course, we're still in there and registered. So I'm just going to jump back to this now, refresh it, and we will have the countdown working for the 25th. So there you go, you can see it's 25th 9th and our countdown has started to count down. So you need to do a little bit of an administration after you've run that live occurrence. You need to just go into, if you've got this block running, you need to go in there. You could, if you wanted to, do a call to action, and you could just link to the registration page for this into the CTA. You could say every Friday Q&A, and then you wouldn't need to update this at all. It would just run through as normal. So that's live classes. Now live webinars, it's exactly the same thing, except we can invite anybody in. So with this, we create a live webinar, and of course we have all the options of reoccurring. You can set this up, and you can then send the link out for the register page and get anyone to register in there, and you can set that up or reoccurring so that people can use that same link and go in there. Remember, webinars are more for public, so they're more for getting people in. So if the same person comes in or a new person comes in, they can sign up for those registers. It's more of a public thing, whereas the live classes are kind of more private. So you just want people that are on the course or people that are registered on your site to sign up. You don't want the general public to be able to get in there, especially if it's a paid for course. So you can see in our membership site, we've got this in here. This might be a feature of your membership, running weekly lives to people that have paid into your course. So that's how it all works. It's pretty easy. I think I've sort of covered all of the subjects there. So you notice now how it doesn't repeat that in that live class. It doesn't make a copy of this for the next one. It actually just updates this one itself. Now if you're running a replay page, remember that you can still go in there, and you'll need to, from an administration point of view, put the replay in there on the replay page, and obviously automate a replay to go out, and then the next week when it runs, you'll then put the new one in before, you'll put the new video in before the automation runs out. So if you've got automation running to go out a day later, just make sure that you do it sooner than the automation for the replay link goes out, so they're not seeing the old video from last week, okay? So, or last day or last month. So you just need to administer that part of it. But other than that, you don't need to touch any of the other pages. You don't need to reset it up, and it keeps it really nice and clean in here, for sure. What I also like to do, if you've done any of my Sunday lives, you'll notice that sometimes I put previous videos in the replay page, so they kind of build up a little library underneath, so people can jump to old replays if they want to. You can do that with live classes, and you can do it with live webinars. Or you could, of course, just have a replay page. You could just put a link going to a page inside your course itself. So if they're registered in, they can see a replays of previous live classes you've done, however you want to do that. Or you can leave replay out completely and not send them an automated link to the replay page. It's really up to you. Just wanted to clarify how that works with setting things up. So remember, you can set up 30 occurrences. You can set them up in a myriad of ways. You can change the occurrences, delete and edit them, and change the timings for them. And remember that after, if you've got that live class block in there, or the live webinar block, remember that you need to update that time each week so that it shows on the block. Okay, so you get a nice countdown happening on the block, and it shows the correct date. So you'll need to, after you've run that live, you need to then set up the next live, and that's simply just by coming into here and changing that date for the next live. But that's all you need to do. So really easy, makes it really quick to manage. You don't need to change this, you don't need to go into any of the pages and update that, so you keep the same theme running week in, week out. Of course, for the next live, if you wanted to change this for something else, another name, say you wanted to do pop-ups, and I wanted to change that for next week's live, I could click update there because I've changed it in there. I just go to my page now and I refresh it, and you're going to see, instead of Q&As, next week's session is going to be all about pop-ups. There we go. So really quick to change these things over. You just got to make sure you're changing that date for the next live. Make sure you're changing that title if you're having a different one. If you want a different course image, you could put that in there. It's really up to you, but it's really easy to work with recurrents. Of course, all these things we're adding and enhancing features as we work through as well, but really cool. So you've looked here at the live class block, but we also have inside of our courses the same ability by using the live webinar. So if you go into your site, into your course, and you can drop this into any page, the webinar, because more public, live classes are normally in a course. So if I go to edit this, as well as the live class block where we have the kind of free column and the list view, you also have the live webinar, and you have two options in there. So you have free columns and list view in the block for webinar. So any webinars that you've already set up, just like the live class, will appear in the same way. So we looked at live classes there. We also have the same for webinar as well, so you can drop those in. Webinars would generally be put into a public page because they are for registration and getting leads into your site. So I wouldn't be dropping this into any of my courses. I'd be using live classes for that. So hopefully this is crystal clear to you guys now. It's a great feature, recurring. Make sure you use it. It's very powerful and saves a lot of administration work on your side for sure.